In 1954, Georgetown University and IBM proudly announced that an electronic brain had translated exactly 60 Russian sentences into English. They confidently predicted that the entire problem of machine translation would be solved in 3, maybe 5 years tops. Yeah, over 70 years later, and I still get instruction manuals for imported Swedish furniture that read like avant-garde poetry. Translating languages at scale, especially technical ones, has always been a colossal pain. Take Hyland University, for example. It's home to these brilliant hands-on labs that guide learners through interactive experiences. Until recently, those instructions were only available in English. But we live in a global society, and our learners needed these labs in Spanish, Portuguese, and more. Now, manually translating all that code-heavy text is about as appealing as peeling individual grapes for a giant fruit salad. Gross. Or we could build an AI agent that acts as a dedicated translation specialist, and we did exactly that using the Content Innovation Cloud, or CIC. Let us ponder the software. Our agent is built right here in Automate, and I should note, this specific translation app is merely scratching the surface of what can be done with agentic AI in CIC. Yes, Marty, I know exactly what you're thinking. Why not just dump the whole thing into a free web translator and call it a day? Well, because, Marty, we have this thing full of markdown and HTML. We're talking about type-ahead text, hyperlinks, and specific file paths. A standard translator will chew that up and spit out a broken, unreadable mess. We want the prose translated, but we want the code left exactly as it is. So, in our prompt instructions, we strictly tell the AI, preserve the markdown syntax, match the English tone and formality, and maintain technical precision. Oh, and if you're interested in the exact recipe we use, you can grab our prompt for the translation agent by clicking the button right up there. For the brain of this operation, we selected Claude Sonnet 4. Through trial and error, we found that it brings the perfect balance of intelligence and speed for this application. It knows the difference between what to translate and what to ignore, and it does it fast enough to avoid delays. But we don't want to just unleash AI into the wild and see what happens. Before we deploy, we use Agent Builder's built-in test feature. We can simply upload a JSON file containing our test values, or we can enter the test inputs directly to safely validate the translation outcomes. Basically, we want to verify the AI's behavior before it touches production. And because we don't want to just hand out the keys to the kingdom, we need strict governance. Inside the CIC administration portal, under Agent Builder's User Rights tab, we can strictly define exactly which user groups are granted access to our agents. And the security doesn't stop there. Back in Automate, we can further define exactly who gets to interact with this specific translation process. Secure, compliant, and tightly sealed. But we still have another problem. Size. If you cram a massive 10-page lab into the AI's context window all at once, it's gonna lose the thread and go off and do unexpected things. It's the digital equivalent of trying to swallow a Thanksgiving turkey whole. You gotta carve it up and feed it to the AI one bite at a time. Enter Automate. Automate is a low-code tool that utilizes BPMN 2.0 compliant process models through a drag-and-drop interface. And we used it here to carefully orchestrate our translation process from beginning to end. Step 1, the user submits a form with their target language up here, and then they copy and paste their lab instructions into this field. From there, yes, copy and paste. Don't look at me like that, Marty. Version 2 will use Automate's dedicated REST connectors to pull and push data automatically by interacting with our lab provider via API, but we're working in version 1 right now, okay? I'm on a budget here. Anyways, Automate then parses and sanitizes the instructions. Using a script task written in JavaScript, it strips out the API breaking elements like style tags, HTML, and localhost references, temporarily replacing them with sentinel markers. Think of them as little do not disturb signs for the AI. Then comes the chunking. We break down the instructions into bite-sized pieces. We feed these chunks to the agent one at a time in a loop. A chunk goes in, the translation comes out, and it gets loaded neatly into an array. We keep track of this entire dance with a simple index counter. Once the counter matches the length of the chunked English array, the loop closes, Automate rebuilds the full markdown string, and swaps those sentinel markers back out for the original code. Finally, it emails the user to let them know that their translations are ready. The user just copies the resulting JSON payload directly into the lab provider. It is a simple app for translating coded content, and version 2 with the API automations will add even more scale. If you want to try getting your hands dirty with this type of digital cookery, head over to Hyland University and try out the Agent Builder hands-on lab yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me, Marty and I have some serious debugging to do on this popover recipe. We'll see you next time. All right, where I think we went wrong is we need to get some